Ladies and gentlemen, the longest season ticket holder in the history of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Ray Olmo, and legendary actress Rue McClanahan. Straight ahead on Night Talk.
From Studio A, here's John McIntyre.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the broadcast. We're live and in color from high atop Television Hill with Eric. See you later, Gator, pointing the camera at me this evening. Richard Suffering Succotash Sylvester getting jiggy with it on the keyboards, punching the button so you can see us on television. The artist formerly known as J.C. Smith, handling news. Between them, they will be taking your phone bidding at 333 PCNC. It would seem that executive producer Scott Jonesy Jones has a well-deserved day off. And ladies and gentlemen, tonight you've chosen an extraordinarily wonderful evening to tune in, because with all of the season ticket furor over the Pittsburgh Penguins right now, you may have seen the spots with the mayor. You know, he's kind of looking like Clint Eastwood, his dirty hair, and you better buy these tickets or else. With this big push to get tickets in order to keep the Pittsburgh Penguins here, with all the hullabaloo over Mario Lemieux and SMG and Fox Sports Pittsburgh and the competing rich guys from Seattle and Texas and yada yada yada, it seems that the average fan perspective has been lost in all this. And that brings he's an above-average fan because he's the longest-running season ticket holder in the history of the Pittsburgh Penguins. That would be a gentleman by the name of Ray Olmo. He actually appeared with Mayor Murphy the other day in one of the many announcements we've been hearing about all of this. I think that was the one where Mayor Murphy said that SMG was a bunch of drinking losers and needs to get shit up, although I paraphrase. And so you will meet Olmo in just a couple of moments. And then she's in town to do Bye Bye Birdie. And her name is Rue McClanahan, and if you're a fan of the Golden Girls or many other major epics of stage and screen, you will know her. Ms. McClanahan is, as we say in town, to do the incredible long-running. So you remember the movie? Who was in that? Dick Van Dyke was in it, Anne Margaret was in it, and that unknown guy who played Conrad Birdie, who just went away, was in it. Sort of an Elvis clone kind of guy. Anyway, Ms. McClanahan will be here to regale us with tales of showbiz from her extraordinary career, and we look forward to all that. Tomorrow night on this program, a programming note. He's the king yapper of Midday Talk Radio. His name is Mike Pintek, right here tomorrow on this particular program. Stay with us on Night Talk on the Pittsburgh Cable News Channel. Back in a moment. Stick around.
Night Talk is brought to you in part by Coffee & Culp, the Roof Guys. The official transportation provider of Night Talk is Pittsburgh Limousine, the one clear choice in transportation.
Ladies and gentlemen, the entire history of the team known as the Pittsburgh Penguins, there is no one man, no one woman, no one person of any kind, no one alien, no one dog, cat, or any kind of animal on the planet who has owned a season ticket longer than this human being right here, Ray Olmo. Ray, welcome to Night Talk.
Thank you.
So that is an incredible feat. When did you buy your season ticket?
Well, actually, we had tickets for the Hornets, and when they left, we just continued with the Penguins.
The team that preceded the Penguins?
Correct.
And so how long can you lay claim to owning a season ticket for the professional hockey team that exists in Pittsburgh?
Well, the Penguins have been here, 32 years now, and so we went, as a matter of fact, one year my wife and I decided not to get tickets when we moved from Shadyside to Murraysville, and then we'd be eating dinner and we'd look at the watch and say, oh, if we hurry, we can get to the game. So we ended up seeing all the games anyway. So, but it was part of our life.
Now, I imagine it's a lot cheaper these days, or was a lot cheaper in those days, is what I'm trying to say.
Well,
it is now to get a season ticket. Or do you always get an incredible discount since you've done it for 32 years?
No, I'm treated just as poorly or as well as everybody else. As a matter of fact, the thing I kid about now is that it costs more to park now than it did to buy 2 tickets back then.
And are you buying another one for next year, or have you already?
I have 4. I gave them my deposit for 4 season tickets already. And
now, yes, a little risky, wouldn't you say, in view of the fact that the team may not necessarily be here?
Oh, I think the team will be here, and I think that my money is guaranteed. I don't think there's any question about that. I don't think that the league, in their wisdom, would let anything happen to those people's money.
Mm-hmm. What is your take on all of this rigmarole and hullabaloo and controversy surrounding the bankruptcy fiasco?
Well, first of all, hockey fans want to be entertained. the financial situation of the team is something that I feel that belongs in the financial section of the paper, or if you want to put it in the front page, put it there. The fan wants to be entertained, wants to see games, they want to see hard play, they want to see physical endeavor. So it's a mixed emotion that that takes over from the thrust of the game. But the game is the name of the thing, and you know, if the Penguins would happen to leave Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh would have a hockey team. But possibly then, instead of competing against New York and Philadelphia, we might be competing against Johnstown, Wheeling, Erie. And what do the people here want? You know, if you want to compete against Philadelphia and New York, you know, you have to support the team.
Do you agree with Mayor Murphy that the villain that may be holding all of this up is SMG?
Well, I don't know. And I really don't care. I just want to see the puck on the ice.
Yeah, and tell me about that, right? Do you think most fans feel the way you do in that respect?
I think so. I mean, in a sense, I think there's been news today about Lemieux made another offer, and the uninsured, the assured creditors wanted to go with the league because there's guarantees. But I think the team will stay in Pittsburgh. The thing I hope that it does is that if the team comes here, Mario is the owner, that the fans can separate Mario Lemieux, the great player, and Mario Lemieux, the new owner.
What is the possible danger?
Well, I mean, he is revered in a sense, and he is respected by many people, and you know, all of a sudden he's changing hats.
Right, so if he cheaps out and we lose a player as a result?
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's that type of thing. He's making decisions then based on what he knows is good for the team financially. Before, when he was on the ice, he did things what was good for the team in order for them to succeed and win the game. And I still think he wants to win the game. He has that competitive nature in him. Otherwise, he wouldn't be in it. So
you're not rooting for him to be the victor in all this?
Oh, I would very much like to see him. I know that his reputation is extremely well thought of up there, and I've known people in the front office, and I know that most people up there really care for him, both him as the player and a gentleman. Obviously, this is a new role, a new hat, Mario Lemieux, the businessman. So it's going to be an interesting scenario, and it should be fun. But basically, I'm the fan. I want to see ice. I want to see play on the ice.
You don't care who owns it that much?
In a sense, no. I think that what is best for the team is best for the fans, so to speak.
How did you get roped into being a part of the announcement that Mayor Murphy made within the last few days?
Well, part of it obviously was that I've been a season ticket holder since the Hornets, so that there's nobody in the city that's had tickets longer than I have. There might be a few people who have been there as long, but so you know, I know some people in the front office, and they called up and said, you know, would you be interested in coming on board to speak at the press conference? And I said I had no objection. So it's the type of thing that now. It's exciting. I end up paying a little bit more attention to what's going on, and you hear stories, and it's the type of thing that the more you know, the more the facts then mean. So if you're reading about it every day, everything becomes a little bit more meaningful.
It's confusing as hell, though, is it not? Many twists and turns in this one. Many people coming at it from different angles.
Many twists and turns. You know, whether the SMG thing was a lease, a loan, and obviously, you know, in fact, I was formerly in the concession business with Ogden Foods, and you know, there are people who lend people money to do certain things, and the contracts are tied into that. So it's a learning experience, and it's fun. But that part belongs on the financial page, not on the sports section.
How do you think the game has changed over the 32 years you've been watching it?
It's faster. I don't know that it's as much fun. When we first started coming to games, we knew the people. Actually, when we first started going to the games, there was nobody sitting in our section. And then it was, if you put too many people in the section, the Civic Arena then had to put an usher there. Once you had 10 people in the section, they had to put an usher there. So, you know, when we first started and had our seats, we had 4 seats or something like that, there was no problem. But as the fans started coming in, not only did you feel that some of the players were like family, but the fans were family. Now you don't see the same faces necessarily there every day or all the time. To me, it's not quite the same.
Do you agree with the criticism I've heard that there aren't as many sort of regular Pittsburghers there and too many yuppies with cell phones?
Well, I have a cell phone on my hip, but I mean, it's off right now. But no, we need young blood to come in to take over. As I said, I've been a season ticket holder, for 30-some years now. So we need somebody to come in a little bit younger, but to find this as part of entertainment. I think there's so many ways to spend the entertainment dollar today, and the Penguins have to realize it. They're entertainment, and they have to learn how to appeal to the masses and how to make that successul for them.
Do you like it when there was more fighting in hockey, or now when, I guess comparatively to the so-called battle days,
fighting is not necessary in hockey. I mean, back when there were 6 teams, and those teams were playing each other every other week, there was reason, Ed did this to me, I'm going to get him back. And I know this, and I've talked to players about this type of thing. Now you see a team today, it might be 3 months that you see them next again, or maybe once in a year that you see the team. I don't think there's any need for fighting. There's no need for high sticking, so to speak. In other words, sometimes the fighting alleviates that pressure. I mean, because they are using a lethal stick that could cause some harm. But it's the type of thing that I think that it's important that fighting is not. It's been inbred in the game, but I think it'll disappear. I think the focus of that will go away. And
your prediction is that the Penguins will end up staying in Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Regardless of who owns them?
Regardless of who owns them.
And you would encourage people to buy season tickets?
Oh, if they want to be entertained, that's the greatest place to go. I mean, I've been to football games. I turned down football tickets because I'd rather watch it on TV.
So why is hockey your favorite sport? Why is it the best sport to watch live?
If you go there, there's more action for the 60 minutes. Mm-hmm. I mean, football is a great sport, but you have about 6 minutes of action in the whole thing. Baseball, I remember going to a game, and my wife said when's the game would start? It was the 3rd inning. I mean, when I go to a hockey game, I basically pay attention to what's going on the ice, and don't interrupt. There's face-offs. I'll talk to you then. But it's a good, fast, clean, exciting game.
All right, Ray Olmo, thanks so much for coming on the program. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And good luck on what you and everybody else wants, I think, and that's keeping the Pens in Pittsburgh.
Thank you.
Ray Olmo, ladies and gentlemen, again, the longest season ticket holder in the history of Penguins. Straight ahead, actress Rue McClanahan on Night Talk.
Night Talk is sponsored in part by Bear of Pennsylvania. For the finest recreation equipment for home, park, or school, compare, and you'll choose the Bear. Night Talk is sponsored in part by R.A. Mayo.
Back on Night Talk, ladies and gentlemen, the legendary, the one, the only, the lovely, the talented, and we're darn glad she's here, Rue McClanahan.
I thought you were talking about yourself there for a moment.
I was, as a matter of fact, but I thought it would be good to switch off the last second just to be polite. Those are beautiful earrings, by the way, as well as your beautiful outfit.
They're part of Golden Girls. I was able.
Oh, seriously?
I was able to get when I signed my 7th-year contract. I said, now I'll sign for a 7th year, but I want all the costumes of the show that I've done for the entire 7 years.
Did you really cut that deal? Are you serious?
Yes, and I wore 5 to 6 outfits on each show, and we did 22 to 25 shows a year, and we did 7 years, and then we did an 8th year called Golden Palace. That's a lot of clothes. Although I didn't get all of them, I did get enough that it takes an entire bedroom. I had to make our bedroom into a closet.
Was that the main reason you signed up for the last couple of years?
That was the main reason. Well, I'll tell you, it was a good thing to do because this came from Golden Girls. Yeah. These came from Golden Girls.
All right, well, let's talk about Golden Girls a little bit since you bring it up. Obviously, people beat that to death constantly, and I do want to talk about Bye Bye Birdie, the wonderful stage production which you are starring in right now in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But having said that, I suppose you still get the most feedback from your star performance on Golden Girls than anything else.
Yes, I was very, very fortunate to be cast as Blanche on Golden Girls. It was when, I was told about it. My agent called me about it. That was back in '85 when we started. And she said, there's this new show that NBC's doing called Golden Girls. And I said, oh, that sounds interesting. Who's writing it? Well, when I found out Susan Harris was writing it, I said, ooh, that's got to be funny. So the messenger pulls up in my front yard and delivers this packet to me. And I take the script out of the packet, and just there, right then and there, before I ever opened it, I said, this feels good. I think this is going to be a hit. I love the script. I love the color of the cover, everything. And when I started reading it, I said, oh my Lord, I have to be a part of this. I've got to be a part of this. And they had just killed me off the year before on Mama's Family.
Oh, those bastards.
Luckily.
Yeah.
No, but thank God. Otherwise, I would have
Well,
been
that's true.
tied up. I wouldn't have been free.
And with all due respect to Mama's Family, you...
I couldn't have gone...
The latter show is far superior.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, for my part, I mean, Aunt Fran was a fun role to play, but nothing like Blanche. Blanche was just, I read that script and I said, oh my Lord, I want to play Blanche. And so
She was the loose one, for those who don't remember. Is that an accurate description? Is that unfair?
She was a very natural woman, yes. She made up her own rules.
But you help explode the myth that, I'm treading on dangerous territory.
No, what you have to say is
older,
women of a certain age,
Thank
I
you.
think is the way they say it in literary circles.
that women of a certain age are no longer interested in sex, because of course they certainly are.
They certainly are, and they're certainly interested in dressing in an
Right.
attractive way,
And living life.
and feeling as young as, I mean, acting as young as they feel. And I started getting all these letters from women saying that, which surprised me, because I didn't feel old, and I didn't, you know, I was 49 at the time. I didn't think of myself as over the hill in any way, and I was playing Blanche just the way it was written. And I was quite surprised to start hearing from these women who said, thank you for liberating us and letting us be who we really are. And they're still saying that. You see, there are still women watching the reruns now of a certain age who perhaps weren't 13 years ago, but are now.
Now, how much did you draw on any personal experience for the character?
Well, Blanche was actually a sort of a man-crazy, oversexed, glamorous vamp from
So she was an
Atlanta.
exact copy of you.
And I'm not from Atlanta.
No, all right.
You didn't get me. Let me get my punchline.
I'm sorry, I screwed that up,
Yes,
didn't I?
yeah.
See, that's why I'm on cable and you're on, like, network on the Golden Girl. And where are you from originally, by the way?
Southern Oklahoma.
Oh, that's right. I read that in your bio today, and you went to the University of Tulsa?
I did indeed. They had a very
I
good
actually
drama
worked there for
department.
2 years prior to coming here. Lovely town.
Did you?
Not
Isn't
just
it?
not all tumbleweeds and dust as one might think.
No, Tulsa's in the northern part of the state. You see,
Yeah.
it has a little stature, it has a little dignity.
Right.
I came from the southern part of the state. I had to learn to stop talking like this when I went to college.
How long did that take you to do that?
Oh, not too long, once it was pointed out to me.
Oh, that you
I didn't know it at the time.
Did you know you wanted to be an actress right away?
Oh, yeah. Oh, from early babyhood. Yeah.
Really? You never had any desire to do anything else?
Well, I thought about being a dancer because I seem to have a natural bent for dancing, and I sort of toyed with the idea of being a linguist. I was very interested in languages. But when I went to the University of Tulsa, I majored in German and drama. I carried a double major. And I carried it right through the senior year. I got a German scholarship my senior year, but
Why German, by the way?
I don't know. I do not know. I just know that I was always fascinated with the German language. I thought it was funny and logical, very logical. I could have majored in French. I minored in French. But I just loved German. I think it was from all those World War II movies. It was the first foreign language I'd ever heard, you know. And I was fascinated with German.
All right, I'll tell you what, let's take a break and cover more of Rue McClanahan's incredible career and take some calls if you got them at 333-PCNC. Night Talk continues in a moment.
The official transportation provider of Night Talk is Pittsburgh Limousine. Whether it's for business or a special night on the town, Pittsburgh Limousine is the one clear choice in transportation.
Back on Night Talk with legendary actress Rue McClanahan. Is that good or bad?
Do I have to be a legend already?
I found some people who actually object to that description. It's supposed to be a compliment.
I mean, shouldn't you be like 80 before you're legendary?
Okay. Okay, never mind. Just incredible actress.
How about
Wonderful
popular?
actress.
Yeah, incredible.
Incredibly
I'll
popular.
I'll take that.
Okay, great.
All right.
She managed to screw the producers of the Golden Girls out of all these cool outfits at the end of her time there because she's no dummy.
But where would they be? Hanging in some rafter, you know? I mean, in the rafters, if in some warehouse. If I
Exactly.
hadn't, of course. Or they would have been cut up and you wouldn't even recognize them anymore.
How many members of the cast of the Golden Girls are still with us?
All of us.
How about that?
Well, why not? I mean,
I just was afraid to say, do you keep in touch with them all? And then you'll
Oh,
say,
yeah.
well, of course, the one died.
No. They're let's see. They're all about 10 or 12, something like that, years older than I am.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, but they're all pretty healthy. Estelle is kind of frail now. She's had her feet operated on, and she walks gingerly. She walks gingerly.
What is B. Arthur doing right
B.
these
Arthur? Let me think. I just read an interview with B. Arthur. What she's done in the past 2 or 3 years is she's been doing some little theater there around L.A. Yeah, and she sang in a concert out on Long Island last year, but she doesn't do that much. Now, Betty just got a new show picked up on CBS. She's got a series. She's in a series with Sharon.
Oh, Sharon?
From NYPD.
From NYPD Blue?
You know, Sharon.
That's not one of my big shows. What's that?
Lawrence. Sharon Lawrence.
Sharon Lawrence.
Sharon Lawrence.
Yeah.
She's playing Sharon Lawrence's mother on a new show, a new sitcom.
Cool.
And I have a new show.
What is it?
Oh, it's called Safe Harbor, and it's with Gregory Harrison, and we're going to be shooting it in Jacksonville, Florida.
Gregory Harrison, the hunk from Trapper John M.D.?
Boy, is he ever.
Yeah, and he still is, I would imagine.
Oh,
yeah.
even more.
Yeah.
Even more than he was in his 20s.
And what's the show about? What network's it on?
I'm playing his mother, of course. It's on Warner Brothers.
Okay, the WB.
Yeah.
The up-and-coming network.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's the plot?
It'll be on Monday nights at 9. It follows Seventh Heaven.
Okay.
And it's written by Brenda, the same woman who writes Seventh Heaven. And it's about a sheriff of a little Florida town who is a widower with 4 boys, 2 12-year-old twins, 14 and 16-year-old boys, and then his mother, who's a widow, lives with him, or they live with her actually, in the Magic Beach Hotel. And the Magic Beach Hotel was my husband's and my hotel, and he was a magician, and I was his assistant. And his dream, when we worked up in the New York area in the Catskills, was to come down to Florida and have his own captive audience. You know, everybody who comes in, he entertains. And we did that. And so they put a freeway in, or an interstate or something, and it destroyed the business. It just killed the town, and he died of a broken heart. So now here I am, this out of work, unemployed magician's assistant, living with my son, the sheriff,
in a
and his
hotel.
4 boys, in a motel.
In a motel.
Kind of a rundown, kind of old motel.
Yeah.
Nobody, we don't even take any guests anymore.
No?
We just live there. No.
Does that make you sort of Ain't B, only modernized?
No, I'm very glamorous and very kind of flamboyant.
Okay.
She's very, very flamboyant. She's a magician's assistant. She wears her old costumes all the time.
Cool.
So she's not the typical
You're going to make the deal to
grandmother.
keep those costumes, I hope.
Yes, I've already made that deal. It's Aaron Spelling. He said, I have never in my life given costumes to anybody. This is the first time.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
All right, let's get a call for Rue McClanahan from Gerard. Hi, Gerard. Gerard, you still there?
Hi, Rue. How are you?
Hello, Gerard. How are you?
I'm doing excellent, thank you. Welcome to Pittsburgh.
Thank you.
I'm calling because I actually have a couple questions. One, who did you have a great time with on the cast? You guys looked like you had a blast. Who was the comedian on the show?
You mean which of the women?
Yes.
Which one is my closest friend of?
Which one was the funniest, I think is what he's trying to say.
Oh, Lord, I can't say which was the funniest because everybody was funny. But the one I'm the closest to is Estelle Getty, who played Sophia. She and I have remained closer.
Well, is there a chance that there might be a movie or an updated, like a 2-hour, let's see what the Golden...
You know, everybody always asks that, and the thing is, no, there isn't a chance of that, actually. That won't
Really?
happen.
Why is there not a chance of that?
Well, you know, B. Arthur is very shy. And she
come
just,
on.
oh, yeah, she really is.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah.
You're not kidding?
No.
How could you play Maud and be, you know...
Well,
play
because
that
she
character
plays
and pull that
Maud,
off?
but
Right.
she's not Maud.
Yeah.
And she just doesn't really want to do anything more about Golden Girls. She's looking to do, I guess, newer things. I don't know. I would love to. I always thought we ought to do the Golden Girls Go to Paris. That was always my hope.
That would be cool.
Yeah, but that never happened.
How is it, by the way, you say you're working on this new, so it's not a situation comedy, it's more of a drama.
It's a, they call them a dramedy, don't they?
Is that what they call them?
Because Gregory Harrison will be doing the drama part. He'll be solving the crimes every week, and I'll be carrying the comedy part, along with the 12-year-old identical twins who get into a lot of trouble, of course.
But was it an appealing idea from the beginning to work with Aaron Spelling, who's had a lot of success in television over the years?
Yes, it was indeed, and he's a very nice man from Texas, you know, and and real warm and very, very. He's known as one of the most generous producers in Los Angeles, in town.
Generous in terms of laying out actual cash money, or
in terms of taking care of his actors. You know, you get good treatment from him.
Let's take a call from Lauren for Rue McClanahan. Hi, Lauren.
Hello?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I just have to say something.
All right. I hope it's clean.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Good.
Your show is like the reruns and stuff are on every day on Lifetime at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And
And this is no joke. I literally watch them every single day. I swear I'm like your #1 fan.
do you mind if I ask you a personal question?
No.
How old are you?
11.
Huh?
11.
11?
Yeah.
Gosh, we started making those shows 15 years ago, so
There's 2 episodes on, so it's like a full hour.
yes, that's right. Well, I'm glad to have you aboard. Thank you.
Yeah. I just love your show.
Do you have a favorite episode?
Not really. I like every episode like 5 times.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I just watched them today.
I love having a young audience. It's really great. Thank you.
Lawrence,
Yes. Oh my God.
look, and thanks so much for calling.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like it was fun for you. Are you surprised at how young the audience is?
No, because it was a young audience back when we were just starting out. The youngest one I met was 2.5. And they would now be, what, 17? Yeah. They were just, I don't know. I was surprised at first, and then I got used to it because I think it's because they were so, and they are so interested in the warmth that they get from the friendship that's displayed on that show. I used to get a lot of fan mail from kids Lauren's age saying, you know, I wish I had a family like that. And is there any chance that I could come and live with you, you know? Which is kind of sad. But I mean, a lot of families don't have that kind of connection that we had, you know, and we weren't even related except for Estelle and Bea.
Right.
But it was like someone said, watching your show is like sitting around the hearth. That was one of the fan letters I got.
Rue McClanahan is with us, back with more of your phone calls and more of a conversation on Night Talk in a moment. Bye Birdie. It is the hot musical currently in Pittsburgh, starring the wonderful, lovely, and talented, but not necessarily legendary Rue McClanahan, but someday to be legendary. And if you want any tickets to this extravaganza, by the way, all you have to do is call 456-6666. That's 456-6666. There are a few choice seats still available, I'm told. And you were telling me before we went on here that the only Bye Bye Birdie I have seen, I'm ashamed to say, was the motion picture version with Dick Van Dyke and Paul Lynde and Anne Margaret. And apparently, if that's your only exposure, you'll want to see the play even more because the plot is significantly different.
Yes. What we're doing is the revived version that was done by Tommy Tune about 6 or 8 years ago that won 6 Tonys, I think. And he's added, for one thing, he's added a song for my character. In the original, and maybe in the film, Mae Peterson didn't have a number. But at the very end of the show now, there is a duet, which is a wonderful, vivacious, vibrant song for my character. And I understand that it's he's cut out some of the songs that were in the original. He's tightened, and so it's a very tight, funny show. It's really good.
How is the guy who plays the rock star Conrad Birdie?
Well, he's just delicious. That's Jeff Tracta, who's from The Bold and the Beautiful, and he's just outrageously gorgeous and very funny. And he is, in fact, a singing star in Europe. He really is in life.
Wow.
He just got back from Belgium when we started rehearsals in Cleveland, and he's perfect for the part, I think.
Let's get some more calls for Rue from Fran right now. Hi, Fran. How are you this evening?
Good. How are you?
Hi.
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 Welcome to Pittsburgh.
Thank you.
I just have a question. Well, I met you the other night at the cast party. It was such a pleasure to finally meet you. I watch you all the time at 11:30 at night, actually, till 12:30. You're on for an hour.
Man, you're on 24 hours a day.
Well, no, 2 hours a day.
2 hours.
Well, that's still huge.
My question was, do you have any children?
Yes, I have a son, Mark, who is a jazz guitarist, and he plays in Austin, Texas. And in fact, he teaches at the guitar school there. And then he plays around town, and he's planning to move to New York next year. And the way I feel about that, I think, is the way my parents felt about my announcement that I was going to New York to try and become an actress.
Mixed emotions, huh?
Well, he's got to do it. You know, that's the big proving ground, New York City. And he's got Austin in his pocket now, and I guess he wants to try the Big Apple.
Fran, you've seen the play?
Yes, it's wonderful. Just
Thank
wonderful.
you. Thank you.
I was there for opening night. It was fabulous.
That was a rather spectacular opening night. That was a wonderful audience.
It was just great.
Yeah. It made my husband cry.
Oh.
That night, it did, because of the... I'm interpreting this. I guess it's the reason. It was because of the show business aspect of it all. It was such a good production and such a good audience and such a good feeling of theater, you know, that it was just very moving.
It was just wonderful. So good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fran, thanks so much for your call. Have a good evening. Let's keep the phone hit parade going. Here's Nick for Rue McClanahan. Hi, Nick.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hi,
All right.
Nick.
Hi, Mrs. McClanahan. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Pretty good, really good, actually. I have a couple questions for you. How did you get started in acting?
Well, when I graduated college from the University of Tulsa, I had no connections whatsoever. That's not the place to go to college if you want to make connections that will help you later in New York. I went to New York and just enrolled in an acting class with Uta Hagen at the Herbert Berghoff School, and I enrolled in 3 different dance classes, and I took dance and drama, and then I went to various auditions, one of which was for the Erie Playhouse, and I got hired to be the ingenue at the Erie Playhouse for that coming season. So I got another year of experience under my belt, and then I went out to the Pasadena Playhouse, and I won a scholarship there for the 3rd year. So I skipped the first, second, because I was already 25 years old by then. So they gave me a scholarship there, and I was in, I got the leads in the plays there. I just, after that I went back to New York, and I just absolutely wouldn't let anything stop me, because I didn't have any connections whatsoever, but I felt that I had to succeed. I mean, I just had to.
Can people still pack up their bags, move to New York, and succeed, or is everything a lot more complicated these days?
Kids are still doing it. They're still doing it. I have a lot of young friends in their 20s who are doing that. And I have some others that I've just met here in Bye Bye Birdie who are coming to New York. They're going to graduate next spring. They're coming to New York. So that's really the place to get started.
Where are you living these days, by the way?
In New York City, but now we're going to be living in Jacksonville because of the show Safe Harbor being shot in Jacksonville.
Well, that'll be some culture shock. I mean, I realize you're...
Tell me about it. I just got moved into New York, just got moved into the new condo, and just got it decorated and finally almost unpacked, and we get this show in Jacksonville.
Oh, man. Can you keep the condo?
Oh, yeah.
Good,
we
good,
bought
good.
the condo, but, I mean, you never know about a show. I mean, how long will it last,
Right.
you know? He got picked up for 13. That doesn't mean he'll get picked up for another year.
But I bet you don't sweat those things as much as you used to.
I tell you the truth, I couldn't care less. It's fun, and why worry about it?
Good for you.
Yeah.
Here's Kelly for Rue McClanahan.
Hi, how are you doing, Rue?
Hi.
Couple questions for you. Everyone's saying that they love you in Golden Girls. I see the reruns of Mama's Family every once in a while. Loved you in Mama's Family, too. However, my question was, you hear about a lot of people leaving their shows on bad terms with the other cast and crew. How did you leave Golden Girls? Is everything good between you and the other ladies?
Well, I don't know. I cried buckets of tears when that one was... I mean, I really didn't want that one to be over. I'm still on good terms with all 3 women, and I expect to be forever. I don't see any reason why not to be.
That's great to hear then. How about Mama's Family? Good terms with all them too? Vicki?
Well, I haven't seen them since. Well, I've seen Vicki. I've seen Vicki, I think it was during Golden Girls. Yes, during Golden Girls, we were on Vicki's show. She had an interview show there for a while. And we did her show, but that's been 10 years ago now. So I haven't seen Vicki since, but of course I'm on good terms with her, with Ken Berry, with the other lady. What was her name?
I can't remember either, frankly.
Oh, I can, but
Dorothy
I can't.
Lyman, was that her name?
Dorothy Lyman?
Dorothy Lyman, yeah.
Nice job.
She became a director, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's directing now.
That's great to hear.
And successfully.
That's great to hear.
She's smart.
Kelly, thanks for your call. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
And is there anybody you just can't stand, you're on horrible terms with in the world of show business? You know, you seem to be in love with everybody. I mean,
Only one.
but you can't mention that name, or?
Well, I could, but I won't.
Okay. Just the expression on your face is worth it. Maybe I can find out during the break, although I doubt it. Back in a moment with Rue McClanahan and more of your phone calls. Stick around. Talk with the full Rue McClanahan, who is starring in Bye Bye Birdie. You can get tickets 456-6666. That one human being who called in earlier thinks it's an incredible, wonderful production, and you yourself say it was a magical opening night.
It was.
So we don't need to find out who this one person is that you hate, but just how much nastiness have you experienced, generally speaking, coming through the ranks of show business?
I think I've been very lucky. I really haven't had much problem. I've come across a lot of incompetence and a lot of, you know,
more in
lack of
management than in
talent.
acting, or
Yeah. I tell you what, more in directing than anywhere else. Yeah, more in directing.
They just don't know what the hell they're doing?
Yeah. It's hard to find a good director. We had one on Bye Bye Birdie. Charlie Ripley was wonderful. He's just wonderful, a wonderful human being, and just, you know, pulling a show like Bye Bye Birdie together. You know, how many children are in it? My gosh, there's like 50 kids in each production, little kids I'm talking about, plus the huge cast and all these numbers and lots of different sets, changes, and so much to deal with. And he's like a puppet master. He just pulls it together, and with good humor. But directors like that are rare.
Well, you're a lucky woman. Here's Dustin for Rue McClanahan. Hi, Dustin.
Hello, Miss McClanahan.
Hello, Dustin.
I want you to know that I am practicing my dance tonight.
Oh, this is our Dustin. He's in the show.
I am practicing since I cannot be with you tonight. I miss you.
All right.
And I have a
slow, quick. Remember.
That's right. And I have a question for you. I was just wondering, do you have any favorite episodes of The Golden Girls? What are your favorites?
Yeah, I like the one about the lesbian, because I think it was some of the funniest writing.
Which episode was that?
Well, it's when a friend of Bee's or Betty's, a friend of Bee's maybe, comes to visit us.
Oh, okay.
And she gets a crush on Betty.
Yes, I remember.
And they're trying to explain to me that she's a lesbian, and I say...
You got a little upset because she liked Rose.
I got upset after I find out what they mean by lesbian. Yeah, but first I think they're talking about Lebanese. I say, well, what's the matter with that? Danny Thomas's one. I thought the writing on that was funny. It was so much fun to play.
And I also like the one where you come dressed as a nun inside. You were doing the production
of Sound of Music.
Yes.
Betty and I were in these wonderful nun outfits, and they were having a hurricane. And we were about to get blown away, yes. Yeah, it was very funny.
So, well, I just wanted to call in and say hello, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Dustin and I.
And it's very fun to work with you.
I'm going to tell them what we do backstage.
And
Thanks for calling.
I think it's a wonderful show, and I'm glad you're in it because I think you're wonderful.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Okay, have a good night.
Good night.
Thanks, Dustin. What do you guys do?
Well, in the last number, while the male and female leader on stage doing their number, which is a foxtrot, da 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 da, I'm teaching Dustin to ballroom. Here's a kid, he's in high school, I think, and you know, he wants to learn how to ballroom dance, and I'm teaching him the foxtrot. And I said, now you go out and spread the word after you learn. And he's getting very good at it. You know, the kids need to learn to couple dance, which is what they call it now. We used to call it dancing. Now they call it couple dancing. And it's
like it's some weird offspring. Or,
yeah. He said the other night, he said, hey, this is fun. You know, when I'm following him, I said, okay, it's up to you now. I'm just going to follow. You let me know what we're going to do next. And he's learning how to use his hand. And, you know, and I said, now the next time, after we do the foxtrot, now we're going to learn how to waltz and then rumba. I think for this next week we'll have that much time.
Time running out, but I think we've got a little time left, maybe a couple of minutes. Here is Vicki for Rue McClanahan. Hi, Vicki.
Hi.
Hello, Vicki.
How are you, Ms. McClanahan?
I'm fine, thank you.
I can't hear you.
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, okay. And how do you like our city of Pittsburgh?
I think it's beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yes, it is indeed.
What I wanted to ask you is, what part are you playing in Bye Bye Birdie? I'm going tomorrow night.
Well, I'm playing the mother.
Oh, okay. That's what I told my husband. I said, that's probably the part she's going to play.
Oh, yes.
And I also watch Golden Girls every night at 11:30, 12 o'clock. It's on for an hour. And sometimes I watch it at 5 o'clock also.
Good, thank you.
So I really enjoy you. Really, really do. Always have. And it's so nice to talk to you.
Thank you.
And you're enjoying your stay here in Pittsburgh?
Yes. Now, you're not a Pittsburgh native, are you?
Oh, yes, I am.
Are you really?
Oh, definitely.
Oh.
I'm definitely a Pittsburgh girl.
That's interesting.
All my
it seems
life.
like there's a little southern there.
Do you think? Well, my husband's brother lives in Jacksonville, and you said that's where you're going.
Yeah.
My brother lives out there. And my husband, he writes screenplays. So what I was wondering also is how do you decide on what role you want to play? Does your agent present you with a script, and you decide from there?
My manager generally sends me the scripts, and I usually go just on the character in the show, and also who's producing it, and how well it's written, and if I think it would be, fun to do.
Rue, I'm sorry to say we're out of time, but
We're out of time, Vicki.
I'm sure
Bye.
you chose Bye Bye Birdie because it's fun to do, and we look forward to seeing you in that.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for coming up here live tonight. Appreciate it.
It was fun.
Rue McClanahan, ladies and gentlemen, back with a moment with a commentary and some other such nonsense. Stick around. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's commentary. You know, this program isn't exactly Nightline, but I feel the industry is coming down to my level. For example, did you hear Ted Koppel used a certain word on the air that rhymes with